the black say.
Hello everybody and welcome to the Garbagemice podcast that's literally just three random guys. And today, we have a special guest. We have a man of many voices, the guy who does the comic dubs. You might have seen his videos. He does amazing works. The one, the only, Solid JJ. Now, Solid JJ, would you grace us with what your actual voice sounds like? I'm betting everybody here is curious to just what the man sounds like.
Surprise! You were Swagger Souls the whole time.
I knew it. I called it. I had bets on it, and you know what? I was right. I'm about to collect some debt.
Oh, hello everybody.
Hey, man.
What's up?
I'm the guy.
You're the guy. So, I'm about to introduce you here. We have Little Pizza Box. He's a Marine. We have Red Sante. He's, Red Sante, what do you do?
I don't really do a whole lot.
Okay, good. And, of course...
Unemployed.
Hey, don't tell him.
We're all fighting our own battles.
True.
Yeah. Well,
So,
it's good to have you here.
I-
But go ahead, Artillery.
Yeah. So I have a few questions to ask for you. How do you come up with all the concepts for your, videos, I guess?
I don't know if that's a... I feel like that's a cliche. Like, not... This is to be mean. Like, that's the question everyone dreads. Because there's not really a straightforward answer for that. It's... I want to say something like... Oh, you know, I sit outside, I look at the sky, and I come up with something beautiful. No, I just... It's usually the day off, I need to come up with something. I, bash my head into a wall until something clicks. And then I make it from there.
Well, a lot of your concepts are really solid, and no pun intended. And a lot of the timing, the execution, it's all wonderful, and your voices are great, man. Like, how do you do the voices? How do you
Trade secret.
I see.
Could
in
you
my-
shit?
I was
Go
gonna
ahead.
say, in my humble opinion, I can do 3 voices, just multiple variations of it. They're all the same.
I mean, that's basically the whole cartoon voice acting industry. It's just variation of the same 5 voices overall. You're not missing out on much.
True.
Yeah. What's your favorite bit of what you've created?
My favorite bit that I've created.
Yeah.
I recently got asked that question. I think the Drake and Josh one I like the most, just because it hits everything I want video to hit. It's stupid. It follows the same style as the source material, and there's a horrible tragedy in the background that's completely ignored.
You know what? Out of all the videos I've watched of you, I have not watched the Drake and Josh video. I've watched 80% of your content, I believe, but not the Drake and Josh one.
Dude, it's great. They caused the Chernobyl accident.
I'm gonna have to watch that one now.
Yeah, me too.
I'll watch it later. Because I was somewhat unfamiliar with your channel until Artillery told me that we were having you on.
Sorry
Yeah,
about
I was
5 minutes
awesome.
ago.
Cherish those
Yeah.
times.
Yeah. But how long have you been doing YouTube? I'm curious.
Since 2019.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I mean, I was doing... I started on Instagram, the most beautiful of places to start. And I used to do, the basic, meme voice actor shit where it's just a stolen image and then you read over it with funny sound effects.
Oh, that's pretty cool. Did you...
Okay, so you were basically a better version of what TikToks are now.
Oh, dude, I hate TikTok so much. I remember when the worst of it was that people would just screenshot your tweet and then, point at it. Now it's
They're
most
actual
people-
murderers.
Yeah,
Like
there
those-
are actual murderers on there now.
It's
Yeah.
I'm gonna murder someone for the fucking TikTok. Maybe I'll get some I don't know, 100 million views.
Do it for the vine.
Yeah.
Has anyone ever had a screenshot of one of your videos and they're like, "This Nazi, I can't believe he did this in his video."
The closest
It's gotta be the
that-
Smurf one.
The closest I've gotten to outrage was, I think, JonTron. I tweeted about JonTron, and because he was having some tirade about Dr. Fauci, and this one guy commented and he took a picture of him and tweeted it back at him. He's like, "Look at you, you look like an idiot." And I'm like, this looks fucking goofy. And I got essays written about how I'm a beta cuck.
Oh, amazing. Who hasn't had essays written about their low testosterone levels on the
Do you
internet.
deny the allegations?
I'm trying my best, man. Grew up on,
I see.
I grew up
I
on
see.
soy.
Yeah.
All right, fair enough. Fair. It explains how you can get that high pitch. No judgment here. This is a judgment-free zone.
And
Thank you.
so when did it really go from you just making memes for fun to this turning into something big where you actually have a following?
I still do it for fun, but it was like the Batman video. I think around that time I did the little Riddler one, and everyone liked that because Batman.
But you're a
No, that's
terrorist.
right.
Batman.
Yeah, Batman's a terrorist. No,
That was-
Riddler's a terrorist. I don't even know my own videos.
The Riddler's terrorist. Yeah, it was quite funny. I remember that one. I think I got introduced to you by the Batman owns the Justice League with Facts and Logic video.
There are
No,
two Italian versions of that.
Italian what?
Italian fan dubs of that. Yeah.
Well, at what point of like content do you get fan dubs of your own work? Like that's got to be a whole upper echelon of thing.
Yeah, I wonder if that's ever gonna happen
No,
to us.
we have that. Trash Rats copied us.
Yeah.
Trash rats.
Oh man. So a little lore of the Garbagemice. There used to be a lesser podcast of lesser people called the Trash Rats, and we of course all supported that podcast financially. We gave that podcast, we were patrons. But the Trash Rats would upload like once every 3 fucking years. So one day, a brave man named Artillery went into the Trash Rats Patreon Discord and just started typing at everyone, I'm gonna make a podcast called The Garbagemites. I need 2 hosts. And out of that came Artillery, a child war survivor, Little Pizza Box, an actual Marine, and Red Sante.
Now wait a
that's about
gosh
it.
darn minute. Those are your names. What a
Yes!
So the
my
story's kind
God.
of starting to fit.
The legends
Yeah.
were true, my friend. You are speaking to the one that only the Garbagemites. Well, if you didn't know that already, then why are you here?
You thought
I'm
you were
gonna
on the
get
Trash
paid after
Rats.
this, or was that before?
Oh yeah, you thought you were on PKA. Happens all the time. PKA is just to the right, man.
Oh,
Yeah.
this is.
Well, you're here now, so we've already started. No need to go back.
Yeah, we've locked the door. We have security outside. You're not
Oh,
leaving.
that's who's outside.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you see this little piece on me right here? Yeah, you're not going
Oh
anywhere.
shit.
Yeah, not after this. We're holding you ransom for the time being.
Yeah.
This is insane. These are crazy people.
Well,
Yeah.
you should have guessed. 2 of us are like PTSD-ridden super child soldiers or whatever, and then there's Red Sante.
That should be the
Yeah.
subject of your podcast. Your military mutant history. I don't know why I'm on here.
It is a huge subject of our podcast, but then again,
Yeah.
we want solid JJ's story as well, because your story is just as interesting as like my life in war-torn Syria.
I don't know. I don't know about that. I feel like if you weighed them out a little, there'd be a little difference,
Yeah.
you know. But all right.
You're
We've
a
been
little
doing this
less
for
of an
like
artillery and more of a Red Sante.
we've been doing this for like 15 hours, man. I'm running out of like funny war stories. All the war stories that are left are just like death and destruction. So I'd
I think you
rather
need to
have
go
someone
back.
say something funny.
No, the war
I think you
stories
need to
aren't
go back
usually
to
fun.
Syria. You need to get more stories.
Yes, I need to go back during the middle of the fucking famine.
Yeah, that would be great.
Alright,
Be
I'll
like,
go
yeah, my
for you.
neighbor died today. It was hilarious.
That's a
Okay,
bit sus.
it's our neighbor died. We don't know who did it. All we know that he left a note in blood saying, "The imposter."
Wow.
This is real.
Yeah, this is. Anyways, all of the garbage mice lore aside, I'm pretty sure most people here are not here for the garbage mice. The host, they're
Yeah.
here for you, Solid. So, tell us more about like what's your relationship with like the material from the 50s and 60s that you parody, or I assume 60s.
I don't know.
No.
I think I like the retro shit. I think like well, if you're talking about the Stooges, that's like the 30s. But the superhero shit, I can get away with a lot more when it's the old cartoons because no one's gonna fucking tell me my voice doesn't sound exactly like this or what. I'm not a voice actor. You know, I can do like little goofy little voices, but I'm not trained. I don't know what I'm doing. I kind of wing it.
Well, let me tell you something, okay? Almost every like successful, like huge content creator starts off by saying, "Well, I'm not this thing that I'm oddly, specifically very talented at doing." Man, like a voice actor is just someone who does funny voices, and you do that very well. So there you are. You're a voice actor.
Yeah.
I guess what
Like,
you're
own
saying.
it, Own it, man.
Yeah.
Come on.
Oh,
Yeah.
Think it, dream it, own it, or whatever the saying was. I don't fucking remember.
Dwayne The Rock Johnson said that.
It's true. It's true. It's all about drive, power, the hunger, and the hour.
And voice acting.
Yeah.
And the supplements.
Correct.
Yeah, and the roids.
The
You need
He's
steroids.
the
fucking like
roids.
40. He does not look like that normally. That you can't tell me with a straight face he looks like that naturally.
Well, you gotta have that TRT as well. That's what the PKA shit is chilling.
Yeah.
I could probably take him in a fight.
You know what? I probably can't take him on a fight. Well, what's Kyle done in the past years? He shoots guns and he looks cool. I've been bombed, man. I can take that fucker.
I don't know. Could every character that you've ever parodied or voice acted, could they all beat Dwayne The Rock Johnson in like a one-on however many?
I feel like Curly's got that crazy factor. Like you're not gonna know what he's gonna do. He'll like reach for his eyes.
He's like a
Just
little
push his
Danny
thumb into his
DeVito.
eyeballs.
He might go under you.
Yeah, I don't know, man. He's kind of scary.
Mm. Yeah, not the Batman, just Curly.
To be honest with you, Papa Smurf in the Smurf universe, he seems like the kind of person to come up with a really evil plan, like against Dwayne The Rock Johnson. Like he would do some messed up shit.
Are you trying to imply he's gonna gas him?
I'm not trying to imply anything here, all right?
Dwayne The Rock Johnson found dead, gassed by Smurfs. Neil Patrick Harris, no comment.
They have the UN investigating the Smurf village right now for the illegal use of chemical weapons on peaceful protesters.
Yeah.
I'll let you guys know how that goes when I invade the Smurf land.
God damn it, little pizza box. Could you stop invading countries for 5 minutes?
Jeez Louise, guys.
Well, I was in LA this past weekend. Past few days invading them. There's actually a shit ton of Navy personnel out there for some reason. Like, everywhere I went, there's seamen in uniform.
Why?
No.
All right.
No, hold on.
I don't
if you
know,
tell
like
us why,
invading.
that's like...
Gentlemen,
that's
I
like-
got a dirty mind.
Oh no. Not that type of semen, man. Holy...
Yeah,
Well,
the white kind. They wear white.
Like racially white, right?
No. Ethnically mixed. But
it's like
they wear
common.
white and
Well, what are you doing around all that semen, little pizza box?
I didn't know they were gonna be there. Like,
You know, there were just gonna be like piles of it everywhere. Like,
Yeah,
just
like,
dripping out
it's
of-
like when
dripping out
you're-
of
when you're
cocks everywhere.
drunk.
Just people just
right? It's like when you're drunk and you don't expect there to be semen when you take her home.
yeah.
On her end, at least.
Jesus Christ.
Welcome to the Garbage Mice podcast, the podcast of whatever this is. And well, Red Sante, I heard you had a couple of questions for Solid JJ, right?
Well, I was just gonna interject and ask, have you been like active just on the internet in general before you were active on YouTube? Because I know a lot of YouTubers started off just on forums making content for their local group of friends or their local community. Like Emp Lemon came from whatever it's called, YouTube or whatever. So are you that type of guy where you were on like a lot of forums maybe like before YouTube?
Never the forums. I mean, I dabbled in a little LiveLeak here and there, but all I'm saying, dude, the Indian guy ran over by train. That'll change your life. But
That's a
what-
classic.
Shit.
classic, dude. That's
I'm
before
more of a
Disney
fan of the
bought
Brazilian
Pixar, I
jelly
think.
arms.
You might be you might recognize some of my family members on LiveLeak.
Oh, no. But,
You know,
Probably a video from where Artillery lives.
Started-
his
Yeah,
village.
You can find some of them there, some of them here. You know, most of them in piles. Just saying.
Not to change the subject, can we talk about how tragic it is that LiveLeak is gone? I didn't even know it happened until I
that's
tried looking
terrible.
up a video, and it was just gone.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah, I tried looking for it one day and it was just not there. There's a bunch of videos I had that I wanted to go back to and I couldn't.
it just kind of satisfies the morbid curiosity in you just to see that kind of stuff.
It
And-
was funny back then. I mean, it's terrible videos, but we would watch it, and I was in high school. We'd see how many videos we could watch before we couldn't watch anymore.
Same here.
Horrible.
Same here. Like, it was.
Yeah, we would watch those in class. Like in the back of my
Oh,
the
shit.
back of my
We wa-
biology class,
Our
we'd just
teacher
be
would put
on
it on the
LiveLeak.
projector. It was math class at the time. We didn't know what was going on. They got removed soon after, but pretty interesting class.
Man, you guys had like working internet in your schools. Now I'm fucking envious.
Yeah, we didn't have bombs over our heads.
Well,
Yeah.
well, unlike you, I got to see LiveLeak live IRL. I got to see the 3D version of it. So
Was it still
you
in
have
terrible
no-
quality?
It
Like
was.
were you,
It
you were
was all
trying to watch
very.
your neighbor get bombed, and it was like 144p, so you couldn't see it that well.
It was
The
all
LiveLeak
very
logo
blurry.
floating in the corner.
Very blurry in my memory. There was a lot of dust in the air, a lot of screaming, so the audio was not very clear. Honestly, it was kind of shit.
So yeah, to
Yeah.
answer your question, I was online. I
Creating
used to
lively
do,
content.
I used to. There was a community online where you would like write little stories, little like superhero stories with each other. It was like a little fun community. There's some idiots in there and shit. And I used to do like these little videos. You remember Content Cop? You remember iDubbbz when he was doing that?
Yeah, those are classics.
Man.
I did that, but for that very niche, tiny community where I would just call out pedophiles and shit. This is completely unrelated to what I do now. I don't know how it got to that, but I learned how to make videos, how to work with the community and shit. And so then eventually when I made this account, it was supposed to be like an inside joke with friends, and it kind of spiraled from there.
Oh, that's pretty cool.
Yeah, that's actually pretty nice.
Yeah.
Like, you go from calling pedophiles to like
Being the
Baking-
pedophile. You dying a hero or not,
I mean, hey, sometimes you can't deny it, right? Sometimes the allegations the evidence is just too much. You cannot suppress all the information out there. I'm sorry, Solid JJ. This is now an exposed video.
No,
I
I'm
know-
getting ahead of it, dude. I'm fucking, I'm just being honest. You can't expose me if I'm just being truthful about it.
I know about the 4-year-old, Solid JJ. I know you're gonna come out about the 13-year-old, which to most people nowadays is socially acceptable because of how we live. But I know about the 4-year-old.
This will never
Two-
see the light of day. I promise you.
I
I'll
also
bury
know
you.
about the 40-year-old, which is just as bad.
That slut was asking for it. 40-year-old
Man.
old homeless man.
Man, but what you did with that rifle was unacceptable. That was very unhygienic.
No, that's just an allegation. That's just not true.
You gave the man tinnitus. He still had it in him when he went to the ER.
Well, that's his prerogative. He was
You
there
know-
when
you
I
know-
left it.
I'm gonna leave it to the cops to sort this matter out. Honestly, I'm gonna leave it to Los Angeles' finest to dig through the mountain, the heaps of used condoms that you have outside your dumpster. Okay.
Yeah.
As for our next topic, because I feel like
Well,
we're
I was-
reaching a dead end here.
I was gonna say I'm gonna be at the hearing and I'm gonna write down some notable things, when you're on the stand, and then I'm gonna make a parody of your channel. I'm gonna make a parody video of your hearing.
No.
I'm gonna do all the voice acting and everything.
Oh no.
I'm good. Oh my god, dude.
Sorry,
So to sum your question up, yes, I was online.
Oh, that's cool.
All that combined to answer your question.
Little Pizza
Mhm.
Box, do you have any questions?
Yeah, I had one a few minutes ago. I forgot.
Wow.
All
Great
that-
question. Thank
All
you.
that shell shock from
Thank
you know
you.
what you do.
Yeah.
From the
Wow.
revelations, from the accusations in today's podcast. Well, Solid JJ, do you have any questions?
Do I have
Oh,
any
actually, I
questions for the
remember my
garbage
question.
mice?
Do I have any questions? Well, not off the top of my head, but maybe we can. Is there any raging awesome topics that we can spiral into a conversation?
Syrian public transportation?
Have you
Well,
guys
Pizza
been
Box had
watching
something
or
to
even
say.
caring about the Amber Heard Johnny Depp thing?
I have not
Oh,
cared
I
at all.
forgot completely about that. But before we move on that, I want to hear your impression of Artillery, because he has a unique voice to say.
The booming voice of a Syrian Chad.
Let me
Yeah.
say something unique and I'll say it. Just no slurs.
Back in home country.
Back in home country.
Now that's a lot more
Shit,
Russian
that's like
than
a
me,
101.
man.
I don't know, man.
That sounded
I
like,
told you I'm
uh,
not a voice actor, dude. I'm not like Gianni Montrago.
I'm not
That
a
sounded
voice
like
actor. I
Benny
can't...
from The Mummy.
I'm not the mummy, guys. Come on.
Okay, now that sounds like the whatever what Sante said. I remember
Yeah.
the character. I just don't remember the name. Oh,
The mummy.
I'm stupid like that. Man,
Yeah.
the Amber Heard trial. That shit. I don't care about. Like, I would much rather watch the Ghislaine Maxwell trial. To be honest.
Yeah, I think we know how it's gonna end. I think everyone is on the side of what's his name, Johnny Depp.
Well, I thought
Yeah.
Sante was on the side of Amber Heard.
Yeah, no, I'm kind of into all the stuff that she was accused of doing to him. So like, I don't know.
Whoa.
I'm a bit of a simp.
Okay. We got an expert. He should have been one of the experts on the stand. That
Yeah,
would
they
have
should
been
have brought
a different
me in.
angle.
You should have been like.
I'd be like, okay, time for a live demonstration.
There's gonna be a porn
Okay, I don't
parody,
think
and
they
that's gonna
saw
be
that. Let's do it
exactly
again.
God damn it. Have you been following it, Solid?
Yeah, actually. I think it's fascinating. I mean, I think it's completely crazy, and there's like everyone that talks about it online is either insane or also insane. But it's
Yeah.
just weird. I mean, I've never seen two crazy people, admittedly, just owning up to it on live television, and then they're gonna go out on their career and pretend like none of this ever happened.
Have you watched any reality TV shows ever?
That might be it then, because no, I stayed away from that. I grew up a healthy boy watching LiveLeak online.
Oh yeah. So basically, every live, like every Big Brother type deal is like, hey, look at how much this crazy guy is crazy, and then, well, I'm crazier than you, and at the end of the day, they just leave and forget about it.
My girlfriend loves that show. She tried to get me into it, but I just thought they were all gonna like kiss.
Well, you know what? You're not wrong. Unfortunately.
You ever see Glee?
Glee, no.
My girlfriend's also into that show, and she showed me one episode, and let me just explain the episode, because it's actually the most, you wouldn't expect it. So they're in the school, and then there's this one girl who comes in, they're in a little singing club, and she's like, hey, here's the newspaper. Meteors are gonna crash down and kill everyone. And they're like, fuck. Let's do a fucking musical before we die. And so they're like, all right, also it's my dog is dying. And then this guy's like, hey, you want to get married? No, my dog is dying. Okay. Cuts to the B plot. It's this girl with Down syndrome, and she's getting picked on. That's the B plot. Then comes back to them. The meteor was a joke. It's not happening. Ha 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 ha. School shooting. There's a school shooting. There's a gun threat. Everyone empties out the
that's
school. Empties
that's
out the
very
school.
different than what I thought it was.
Guess who has the gun?
The Down syndrome girl.
Down syndrome girl has the gun. She's fucking coming up with the gun. The teacher takes the gun and takes the fall for it. And she's like, it's not your fault that you brought a loaded gun into a school. And then she takes the fall. She gets kicked out of the school. The end. They sang like 3 songs. But like I was so much more focused on what the fuck was going on. Like how do you...
I was under the impression that Glee was like a adult kids bop.
Me too. I don't know where this came from. I was so invested in it.
Man, this sounds fucking epic. I want to see that shit now.
The rest of it's nothing like that. It's just that one episode she decided to show me, thinking this was gonna be like my entry point. It was the most bizarre Twilight Zone type thing ever. I never expected it.
Whoa.
If only that same plot was on LiveLeak.
Oh, it
watch
was, but not such a
Man,
happy ending.
have you seen that ad that's like, a romance story in a high school, but then in the background you're supposed to pay attention to the kid wearing a hoodie who's pointing finger guns at everybody and reading magazines about guns, and then one day he shows up and commits a school shooting.
Yeah, that's a classic.
Yeah,
I've never seen that, no.
Oh, it's like a weird thing with ads. There's also this show, 13 Reasons Why, where fucking a guy comes to school with a loaded AR-15 after they put a broom up his back. And he's there to take revenge, but then one of his friends shows up and is like, please don't commit a school shooting. And the guy's like, oh, fine, I guess.
Cut this all out. This is terrible. This is horrible.
Well, we've spoken about much worse. I mean, I've literally spoken about being like the worst kind of shit you see in the Middle East. So
I mean, I saw you had Monkey Jones on one episode. I didn't watch the whole thing, but I saw, so I can't imagine he was talking about fucking daisies and sunshine.
yeah.
No,
This
not
is
really.
it's kind of more on the well, it's all in the name of humor, but we do make a few edgy jokes here and there. So it's not nothing out of the norm for us. If you want it out, like for your own sake, we can cut it out.
Maybe just the the school shooting part, like not the Glee one, but this part, considering, you know, some things have been occurring at the moment.
Fair. Well,
Yeah, I guess so.
we'll cut it out. Yeah, it's been weird. Like, oh wait, was this a cut?
I mean-
We'll go from talking about Glee to talking about the recent trend of so many mass shootings in the United States, all in the span of like 2 weeks.
Yeah.
Wow.
I mean,
What a
my
surprising
message has always
topic.
been, and I said it on the last episode where we, looked at the special video, that a job and a family will make you infinitely happier than shooting up your local Walmart. So,
I mean,
make
this
the
is
right
common
choice for
experience.
yourself.
Yeah, we looked for the Buffalo Shooters Manifesto, and it's pretty weird. Like, it's funny if you ignore the fact that people were murdered.
He had porn of a fucking dog on his phone right before he did it.
Yeah, like the Martha Speaks
Yeah.
cartoon.
Yeah.
He just wanted one last look before he went in.
Do you know Alec Manassian?
No.
He was an incel in Toronto who like ran over a bunch of people because he wasn't getting laid, and his
Oh, of
police
course.
and his police interview is genuinely maybe the funniest police interview ever recorded. If you ignore the fact that he had just murdered like 10 people.
If you ignore that, yeah.
If you ignore that, he's out there speaking to the officer about Chads and
Yeah,
Stacy's.
he's like explaining to the interviewer what a Chad is. It's funny.
It's insane.
Yeah, and then the interviewer's like, well, tell me more about what you describe as roasties. And
Oh,
it goes on
God.
and on. It's not even funny. It's funny
man.
until you remember, oh shit, people died because this guy's deranged.
I hate people like that because the logic makes no, like, it's just insane to me. It's like, you know, I'm not getting laid. You know what I should do? Such as just drive through crowds of people with my car.
You know what?
Yeah, it'll work.
That might fix your problem of not getting laid. It won't. It actually won't fix your problem. It's gonna make it worse.
That's a fact.
It's gonna
I
make it worse.
found different solutions.
Yeah.
Please don't tell me about your like adventures in Kabul.
Never mind.
Yeah.
You
Jesus.
should probably plead the fifth on this one, little pizza box.
Yeah.
Man, oh man. You go from,
Oh,
I went
man.
from making superhero funnies to talking about real tragedies.
War crimes.
Hell yeah.
war
Yeah.
crimes.
It's
Well,
just
do you
a
want to
natural
bring the
progression.
topic around? Something funnier.
Yeah, let's
I don't
talk
run
about
this
something
fucking
more cheerful.
podcast. Yeah, coming at me for.
Well, who runs this podcast? Like a deranged,
told me-
PTSD-ridden child war survivor. I
You
need
told me your
content,
fucking
man.
war stories of you three fucking coming from the slums making this podcast.
Oh
You
yeah,
made
war
this.
stories. Let me get something fun. Yeah, this is not a war story, but it's just a funny observation in Syria. Back in home country, it was actually faster to walk to your destination on the other side of town than taking public transport, because public transport arrived like once every like 50 hours or something. It was ridiculous.
Fuck.
But stories from back home, like, well, I've said many stories. I've said how I used to collect bullet shells. I've said how, explosions happened. I used to tell my friends in Europe and North America that, you know what? You should come and visit Latakia. Latakia, my city, is very safe compared to the rest of Syria. We only get bombed like twice a week, so it's fine. And that was
It's fine.
It was a real funny, like, it's still funny to me. It's still funny, just that perspective.
I mean, I'm sure that it's not too bad if you're just in the moment and you're there, because your brain adjusts pretty quickly to whatever circumstances that you're in, and you'll eventually just be content no matter where you are.
You just gotta
Pretty much.
you just gotta put on some Fallout power armor and just bear through it, man. You'll be fine.
And ironically, I had like gas mask and shit.
Oh my
I still
God.
do. I own a bunch of gas masks here in like Canada. I moved out to Canada, by the way. I'm an immigrant, 2 years off the boat. Honestly, my stories here are also just as bad shit as my stories back home, because the kind of people you see when you're like working in the same field as I am and like the same class as I am, it's just very weird. Very weird people indeed.
I love how I meld into this podcast. It's all about genuine tragedy and war stories, and I'm just like, so how'd you make up your Superman farts video? That was pretty fucking good.
Well, you know what? This is more entertaining. Like, what you do is more entertaining than any like war story. The purpose is,
I don't know about that. I feel like war story. I feel like you tell a veteran that, and they're like, "Nice story, buddy," but here's Ben Shapiro. He drove off a fucking cliff. That's a really funny one.
You know, a funny story is one of my friends used to go up to his village, and his relatives would try to scare him by grabbing grenades and taking the pins out of them. Which, by the way, you're not supposed to do that. If you do that with a grenade, you're a moron.
I feel like you're not supposed to do that. I feel like there's a lot of things you're not supposed to do when you have a grenade in your hand.
Yeah. Well, you've really put yourself in a bad position when you have a grenade in your hand. Like that's when you start questioning where your life has led you.
Mondays, am I right?
Have I said the story of
Darth Plagueis.
Damn it. I'm about to talk about like some real war crime shit. Right now.
Yo, Emperor Palpatine got into some dark shit too.
Fair.
Where was he in Syria? He had some involvement, I'm sure.
I think he was cooperating with ISIS at the time.
I'm just picturing the U.S. in their war room, and they're like talking about like ISIS coming back. He's like, we don't know how, but Palpatine has returned. ISIS is back.
Palpatine is in Al-Raqqa destroying like old ruins or something. I don't know.
The ISIS soldiers started shooting lightning out of their fingertips. They must have been taught by the Dark Lord of the Sith.
ISIS. Ironically, they still get bombed. Like, shit, the lightning is so short range.
Oh,
Can't
you
do
make
shit
me
to jets.
remember a terrible, terrible story. Well, not a story, I guess a video I saw. Back when it was just normal that you'd find ISIS on YouTube. There was a video of them getting attacked, and you could see in live time them go from running to accepting it to praying, and then realizing that there's just nothing after death, and then dying. You could see like one guy gets down on his knees and then gets shot, and the guy next to him gets off his knees. He's like, "Fuck that!" He starts booking it. It's horrible, but it's just like it couldn't have happened to any like better people. Fuck them.
YouTube
Honestly,
used to be different. Just find this type of stuff on there.
Yeah, it used to be better when there were fucking beheadings everywhere. Filthy crap.
Well, you know what? I say we should bring them back. Why not? Right?
Well, that brings me to my next
let's
video.
Start here.
What's your next video? Are you gonna dump ISIS?
All I'm saying is my 500k special is gonna be fucking insane. All right.
I'm all
I'm
here
looking
for it,
forward to
man.
it.
How crazy
all
would
here for
that
it.
be if like fucking like I don't know, like Smosh got like 100 million, and then they did like an actual beheading. And for like the first few hours of it being uploaded, no one knew if it was actually true or not. But then all the fucking like police stories started coming out. And they're like, "Oh fuck, Anthony's dead."
Anthony's dead. Fuck. Remember the kidnapping my best friend prank? Like that was something
yeah.
that was on YouTube.
Yeah, saw
That
Salt
was-
and Pepper.
That was so fucking horrific, man. Even by my standards, dude. Like holy shit.
That guy's probably scarred for life.
In either
I
scenario,
know, I
whether
would
it be whether it be real or fake, it's just like a horrible. Like, why would you think that was a good idea?
It is like, if it was fake, then that guy deserves a fucking Oscar, man. Like honestly, just the
Yeah.
way he's like begging and screaming and yelling is like, okay, dude, she's got me by the heartstrings, man.
The guy that made that video,
It sounded
ended
like
up
he was
going
actually
to,
scared. So.
He ended up doing the Save the Kids scam with that one phase guy, and then he went. He escaped to Europe or some shit.
Yeah, escaped to like England. British.
Yeah. Of course, FaZe was involved with that. FaZe has a really dark history. Like they've been running shady stuff for a long time.
Let's
I can't
see,
wait.
kids gambling, organ harvesting, crypto scams.
A few
Yeah.
years.
Yeah,
A
they
few
were-
years from now, they're gonna be on True Crime.
They were the ones that ran CS:GO Wild, and they lied about their ownership of it.
Man, I do miss CS:GO being alive,
Legal.
I guess.
CS:GO is definitely alive. It has as many players now as it did like in 2015. It's just
Yep.
that there's less scams, so you don't hear as much about it.
No, but
I-
there's a lot more cheaters. Like, a lot
That's
more.
true. That's the only reason I play Valorant instead.
I got into that CS:GO game, like, funnily enough, like 2 weeks before it became free to play. I bought the game, and I played like 2 games, and my first one, it just crashed. And then the second one, I got into a lobby with this guy called N-Word Killer, and he was just calling everyone the N-Word, and then I realized he was spin botting, and then he got kicked, and then the game ended. I didn't play it after that.
Amazing.
Yeah.
That's the quintessential CS:GO experience. You want to hear one of my CS:GO experiences from back in home country?
CS:GO in the home country. Let's go.
Counter-Strike is one of the most popular games in Syria, man. Like, not even joking.
Like
But,
CS:GO in real life, or what are you
No.
doing?
Is some guy just spin botting out in the
Well-
fields in Syria?
Well, it's kind of like training, you know? It's kind of like training on how to handle certain situations, like hostages, bombs. Bomb defusal was very popular, I gotta say. Everybody wanted to pick terrorists. Well,
Oh shit.
I got it as a gift, CS:GO, from like one of my American friends because, you know, buying shit is illegal in Syria, like buying stuff online because of all the sanctions. So I'm like, yeah, I finally got CS:GO, and so I started frequenting the internet cafe local to me, and most of the time they didn't have headphones. And you know, CS:GO is a game you rely a lot on audio,
Yeah, you need sound.
and you also need a microphone. And half the computers that had a headset didn't have a microphone. And I gave one of my friends the Steam account just so he can give me $5 so I can like start adding friends. And that was a stupid decision because one day I show up to the internet cafe. One of the computers with both a headset and a microphone are available to 14-year-old Syrian war child me. And I am so happy about it. I am so ecstatic. I'm going to have a great CSGO game today. I'm going to be able to hear my teammates and communicate with them. It's going to be wonderful, right? And so I put on the headset. I boot up the computer. I test the microphone. I launch my Steam account. And I'm VAC banned. Because my friend had been cheating on my account.
Man.
And I'm still bitter about it to this day.
That's a war story.
That's absolutely. This is one of my more depressing ones. I'm sorry to the audience.
Yeah, I didn't know that was going to be so dark.
You're talking
Yeah.
about bombings and killings and murders. I didn't know it was gonna get actually bad.
Well, I'm sorry, man. This is the realities of war. It's not very pretty. War is hell. There are no winners in war, and this is life back at home. You know, this is what it's like in the Middle East every day. Ever since George Bush decided that he didn't like Saddam Hussein very much.
That was your Joker moment.
That was the moment when little Muhammad turned into artillery.
Man. God, I was gonna say something when we were talking about old YouTube. You guys remember Waffle Pone? That guy, the greatest freakout videos?
Waffle
The name
Cone?
sounds familiar.
Or Waffle Pone, not Waffle Cone.
Nah.
Waffle Pone. He sounds familiar.
It was the two guys,
Prank
Jack
call?
and Steven.
Prank calls?
No, they didn't do prank calls. They did like IRL videos where the guy Steven would like freak out. Like in the original one, he like puts a remote up his butt, and it's like a classic moment.
Oh, I remember that one video.
Yes.
Yeah.
I know exactly what you're fucking talking about. I was so
Yeah.
heartbroken when I found out they were all fucking fake, though.
Yeah, and I got reminded of that because we were talking about like the guy in that one Sam Pepper thing had good acting. Dude, the acting in that family in those Waffle Pone videos is so good that I thought they were real for so long.
Those
Especially like
videos
that
are
one.
so bizarre.
It was like episode 20 or 21 when like their whole family is staying at their house and like even the kids are involved and they're like doing a good job acting.
Well, were
Like,
they
it's
good
crazy.
at acting, or was it like less common for trolls to be around back then? Because it could be
No,
both.
they were good. They were good.
I even go back and rewatch those today and like I'm like someone could probably convince me that some of them are real because the acting is really, really good.
It's so weird explaining what happens. It's like, okay, so first this guy shoves a remote up his ass a couple times, then he starts building the Batmobile, and then the police get involved, and then he gets locked out of his house during a fucking tsunami. It's like, it's just a lot that happens at once.
Yeah.
I've not watched any of those videos actually.
Well, then if
very
you
out-
watch
probably
the Batman
should.
movie, that pretty much narrows it down.
Oh yeah.
That reminds
Oh,
me
man.
of, there was a copycat. There was a guy that got inspired by, do you remember McJuggernuggets?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Good
I've
guy.
met that guy. He's
Really?
He's pretty cool. Yeah.
Oh, man, I'm jealous.
Yeah, I met him at VidCon. I have a picture with him. So
Is he
that
still
was cool.
around? Is he still making? I heard he switched platforms.
He started one and then he quit it.
Yeah, he shut it down because good luck competing with YouTube.
Right.
Good luck competing
um,
with TruthSocial.com,
They made
the
the
platform for true patriots.
it was McJuggernuggets. They made Storyfire, and I remember I knew it was gonna crash immediately because I joined it, and I'm like, hey, can I upload videos? And they're like, no, you have to be. We're only gonna let certain people upload videos. And I'm like, all right, and I quit.
Man.
Yeah, same here.
Oh, but
Like-
the point was that guy. I remember for a time towards the end of his like Crazy Dad series or whatever, he did one where he shot his dad, and I remember at that point I'm like, all right, so this is fake, and then I remember Drama Alert covered it, and he was like, "Is this real? I don't know." And I'm like, "No, it's not real, you fucking idiot." He
Just
didn't shoot
imagine
his dad.
Keemstar, he's like sitting there wide-eyed, like, did this guy really shoot his dad?
He's
I
like, "Shit, I
remember
need to
when
get on that."
that episode came out. I was so disappointed that the whole thing, the whole time, all those years that I've been watching him, it was all fake. I was
Oh, man.
heartbroken.
You know what's really sad? This reminds me of back when I was like 10 years old, and I believed the Slender Man was real.
You
He is real.
can't tell me he's not.
Well, this is the thing about him.
True.
Back in home country, when
Oh,
I was
God.
like 10 years old, and when the Slender Man was first like
Not
appearing in
Russian
internet
Slender Man.
culture. No, like Syrian Slender Man. That was about the time that the war started, and we started getting like 5 hours of electricity a day. So most of the day would be very dark. And my 10,
Oh, man.
11-year-old imagination went very wild with what the Slender Man could do in my dark building with absolutely no lights. And it was horrendous. And I would see him everywhere.
You remember that news story about the girls
Oh my
that went
god.
to
one
their
that,
friends in
uh,
the woods and they almost fucking killed her because they said Slender Man told them to.
You know,
Yeah, I
this-
remember that. That was crazy.
Yeah, I
This
can't
is-
believe they never caught Slender Man though.
I am never gonna let my children use the internet without supervision, like, ever.
That's a good idea.
Just don't let them
It's-
use it. They might find one of my videos.
Yeah.
I
Yeah,
recently
your videos are gonna be on the curriculum.
oh,
Yeah. I hope my
I-
kids
I-
never find this podcast.
oh, I mean,
Same.
I might be like the pipeline, but I recently got a DM on Instagram. It was like some guy. He's like, "I like your videos." I'm like, "Thanks." And then I get a response from him, and it's a video of himself. And he's like 14 at the oldest, and he's smoking like weed. Like, what the fuck are you doing? How do you get it online? What? There was a lot of questions I had, but he would not answer them.
And
What the fuck?
Welcome
remember.
to Generation Z.
I remember one of my friends was like going through Omegle, and he was screen sharing on Discord so we could see who he was talking to, and he wound up on this kid that was like 10 years old, and he was basically acting like a stereotypical rapper. Like, he had a handle of vodka in his room with him, and he was 10 years old. he
bet it was
showed us
water.
that he had a pack of cigarettes hidden under his pillow, but he wasn't gonna smoke one because he didn't want his parents to smell it and catch him.
Aw, that's terrible.
And he said that he was 10 years old and he looked like it, and it was really sad.
That's fucked.
Man. Back, on a brighter note, back in home country.
And when the home country is
When the
brighter,
bombs are
Oh,
dropping.
that's way brighter.
when the home country is happy.
This is a relatively brighter tone. During 9th grade when I was 14, my parents took away my laptop, so I would study harder because it's a really important grade. But the way I did it was I genuinely fucking solid snaked into their room, found out where my laptop was hidden, and whenever they were sleeping, and I made sure it was like an hour after they go to the bedroom. Whenever they were sleeping, I would just crawl inside, grab the laptop, go to my room, play video games all night, then go back to their room an hour before they wake up, put the laptop back, and then go to sleep for 3 hours before school. That was like a whole routine for me. It was great.
How did it reflect your grades?
I was still like one of the top students. I'm a massive fucking nerd.
Goddamn.
Man, what's the
Yeah.
average IQ in Syria?
Well, only the
Hey, no
smart
comment.
ones survive.
Yeah, I guess so.
Bit of a curve.
We had like a thing in math class where we had an impossible equation, and we should have known that it's an impossible equation if you pay attention to what the actual theory of the math is. But most kids in school that had high grades just didn't really care and just memorized everything straight up without critically thinking about it. So when the 9th grade exam happened, by mistake, an equation that was impossible was put in the exam, in the test. And so all the nerdy kids like just answered straightforwardly, like, yeah, this is what the answer would be. While all the piece of shit kids like me were like, actually, this is impossible, but I have never in my life found more joy than whispering to the nerdy kid next to me who would never let people cheat off him, who would never talk to anybody, who was like, oh, I'm better than everybody else, I'm smarter than everybody else. Just sitting next to
So
him.
the school shooter.
Hey, yeah. The answer for 11, it's impossible. It doesn't work. And he's not paying attention to me. He's closing the paper. And then after the exam is done, I go up to him and ask him, so for question 11, did you answer that it was impossible? He's like, no, it's like -12. I'm like, a square root of something can't be negative. Or like a square root of negative can't exist. And he's like, no! It was great. The wailing and the screaming outside the school of 9th grade was louder than the wailing and screaming after a bomb dropped. It was glorious. My favorite day of my life.
You
It
want to know
sounds like
something?
you're describing a massacre right now.
A massacre in maths.
You want to know something?
Tell me.
That was me. This is my origin story.
Nerd.
I've built up this whole identity. It is everything. I'm using a voice changer. You're fucking
Oh,
dead. You embarrassed
Wow.
me. I was at
Yep.
the top of my class. I was so good at math.
You're gonna become the Walter White of a math generation.
I was drawing math formulas all over my walls for years. That's when Slender Man came.
Well, you should have known that that you cannot find the square root of a negative. It's impossible. It's an imaginary number. You should have known that. You fucking
Nuh-uh.
nerd. You piece of shit. You should have paid attention in class.
No, I can't hear you.
Can't hear me over what? The sound of your utter failure and misery? The sound of the wailing and screaming from your parents who are disappointed in you for all of eternity?
You hated this kid. Damn.
Well, here's the thing. Let me tell you something. I like smart people. I don't like people who think they're smart.
Well, I'm neither.
See, and this is why you have my respect. Because you're smart enough to know you're pretty dumb.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and here I am on my high tower being the smartest child war survivor that ever was.
Yeah.
Pizza Box, did you ever remember that question you wanted to ask me at the beginning?
Yeah, I already asked. It was whether or not you could impersonate artillery.
Oh,
Which,
wow. I
clearly
couldn't
you can't.
remember.
Well, now that you have more of a baseline of what my voice is supposed to sound like, go ahead.
Oh, the bombs are dropping! Oh, the bombs! Oh, no!
Not a
Oh,
second,
man.
not a second of this episode wasted. Honestly.
No.
Yeah. I was gonna say, speaking of your parents being disappointed in you, do they actually know about your channel?
Oh, God, yeah. Well, my dad does. He's weird with it. Sometimes he's like, oh, good job with this, you know? And then other times he's like, can you fucking just, like, do something else? And I'm like, no.
You got a
Wait,
real
so are
job,
you,
son.
other than this, are you employed anywhere?
I'm
or-
finishing my master's right now.
Really? Huh.
I do
Okay.
delivery jobs on the side.
Why is everybody here so much more fucking accomplished? Why can't I find a guy who's
No,
like,
no,
yeah, I'm a
no,
dishwasher at a
dude. I do
restaurant.
fucking, I do Chinese food delivery right now. I'm not killing it. I mean, I'm doing.
Yeah.
I want to make
You're
this
doing-
like a lifelong thing. I want to make not lifelong. I want to make this like a career for at least a while. Just getting there.
Yeah. I
Food
mean, it'll
delivery.
eventually dry up, so it's a good thing that you've got that degree. That's impressive. From a guy who dropped out of college. It's impressive.
yeah,
never
dropped out of
started
college
college.
to do what? Like fucking crypto trading?
Yeah. I don't know. The numbers kind of justify it.
Loser. The numbers, they're all in the red now, aren't they?
No, not really.
Yeah, I heard you lost like 40% of your net worth.
Oh, in one trade, yeah. No, that was cap. That was cap.
That'll do it.
Ah.
But on the note what you said, yeah, I get so nervous about this thing eventually just hitting the wall. It's a
Mm.
scary time, man. YouTube's fucking
Yeah.
nerve-wracking.
YouTube
Yeah.
is like, yeah, it's terrible. I feel so bad for anyone trying to like make a living on YouTube.
What about me? We're making like $10 from the Patreon, right?
Yeah, we're really raking it in, aren't we?
Yeah, we have like 3 patrons right now. They're
I
all
think
great.
Yeah.
for anyone listening, YouTube can make money, but it can't be. You can't put all the eggs in it. A lot of people don't realize that going in. You
Yeah.
gotta like, you gotta get like multiple. You can't just like do one thing. Every YouTuber you watch, 90% of them have other jobs.
Fair.
Yeah, which is a good thing. Like
It's-
I don't ever expect this podcast to make any money.
Yeah,
I thought
to be
this was
honest.
gonna make $1 million like after this comes out.
I told you this isn't PKA's, just down the road to the right.
Again, I don't know why I'm here.
Yeah, because we're holding you at gunpoint, remember?
That'll do it. Yeah, it's the Down syndrome girl from the Glee episode.
So, you guys want to... hold on, let me check something real quick.
We are at
Garbage Mice.
55 minutes.
Yeah.
Mine is 5 minutes, give or take.
Yeah. And then we're gonna do an
Correct
after
my math
show,
again.
which you can
Oh, yeah.
stay for the after show if you really want, but you don't have to. It's just
No,
gonna be
I'm
us
down to-
addressing our community and
dick
more
around.
personal things.
Oh, you're done. Oh.
No, I said
Aw.
I'm down to dick around.
Oh, okay. That's
Hey, let's go.
That's a whole different. Okay.
Yeah.
I want to give our Discord a little update. See, well, a big part of this community has always been our Discord. I have been requested to give a teenager dating advice, and we have
Sounds
had
a little illegal.
yeah, and we've had a guy just show up one day. Remember how I said that we had a guy that. Well, you wouldn't remember, Solid. You weren't there.
Can't remember at the moment though.
Yeah, there was a guy that showed up every week and posted gay black men shaking their asses, and then I would mute him for 7 days, and then 7 days later he'd do the same thing.
Just
And
kept
another-
doing it. It was so funny.
another guy showed up, and he started like spamming, flashing swastikas, and I muted him for 7 days, and he called me a cuck and left.
You got a
And that's
wild,
okay.
you got a wild fan base, guys.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I don't know where he came from, to be honest. I was just minding my own business, just living the life, and then
Yeah.
that guy shows up. It's like,
Yeah,
Crap,
I
so
like
what
some
would-
of our fans. They're
Yeah.
kind of cool. I want to play games with some of them. I reinstalled CS:GO. We're
Can
gonna
you
have a
can you
gaming
please
night.
take that duty off me? I don't want to interact with any of our fans anymore. To all our fans listening, bye.
Man,
This is the last message you'll ever hear from me. It's like, stop it.
you're never gonna appear on the podcast ever again.
Solid JJ, do you have any message to any of your fans?
Why? That's my
That's a
message.
good question.
Why? I have a question to the fans.
Dude, you should be a voice actor. I don't know why I'm the voice actor here. That was intense.
Indeed. I'm just trying not to wake up my landlord, okay?
And he's gonna barge in and ask for your rent like he did on that one episode.
Unironically, like, yeah.
No way, really?
Yeah.
His
He came in.
landlord knocked and came in. He's like, "Hey, Mohammed, you have your rent?"
Please don't remind me, okay? I'm all over that period. I've paid my rent.
Have
My-
you? I didn't
my-
get the check in the mail.
Exorbitantly large, overpriced rent.
Man.
Man.
Oh man. Well, any last things before we wrap up?
Thanks for having me on. It was fun.
Thank you for coming, man. This was
Yeah,
like
it was a
amazing.
good talk.
Yeah.
Good
So-
to know more about you and all that. So, go ahead, Artillery.
Thank you for watching Garbagemice. What episode is this? 16, 17?
It's 16, I think.
Hooray! Thank you, Solid JJ, for coming on. And are we going to do an after show?
We are.
We are.
All right. Goodbye, everyone.
Goodbye.
See you in the after show.